What's going on, everybody? This is Joe, and I am here live at Champion Card Collector in Poughkeepsie, New York for the Tarkir Dragonstorm pre-release. If you've seen the other video that we already put out tonight, you will see some of the events going on at the pre-release, or at least some of the cards that are being opened, some of the hype that's going on around this set and stuff like that. Hopefully you'll be able to check it out. But today, for this video, there are too many kits to even show fully on the camera. Got Abzan hiding over here on the left and Teamer hiding here on the right, but I'm going to open one of each of these clan-specific pre-release kits. And like I said, Abzan, Jeskai, Mardu, Sultai, and Teamer are here. That's right, I'm doing them in alphabetical order. We'll move all of these off to the side because I'm starting with Abzan. This is what it looks like. Here we go, very nice. Actually, it is really cool. Of course, I will open it up here. Oh, first of all, that was annoying, but second of all, there we go. It says, "We live on." Okay, I like that. I was like, we live on what? Anyway, we live on. Okay, here's what the inside of the kit looks like. Very cool. Look at that. I will let you pause and read that for yourself. Whatever, I'll just do it. Stalwart warriors with strong familial bonds who summon their ancestors' spirits. They preserve the history and lineage of their clan through impenetrable defenses and sacred ancestral kin trees. There is, I assume, clan-specific art on the inside, which is very dark and difficult to see, unless I were to open this thing up for all of you, but there you go. There's, yeah, that's not bad, right? You can see that, sort of? Yeah, okay. And then the tokens themselves, or the counters, or whatever you want to call it, they're blue on one side and yellow on the other side. That's pretty cool. Okay, so I'll leave that off to the side. We've got the box itself, which just again depicts the new spirit dragon for Abzan. The other thing that is cool about this set is all of the clans have their own individual D20 with the clan symbol on it. I almost feel like it should be upright this way, right? Like we can see that. But anyway, so we will see all 5 of them today. I don't have to worry about trading to collect them all because I'm collecting them all. I'm opening one of each kit. So we have the packs themselves, which is what we are all here for, of course. I'll leave those off on the side. And then the little inserts here, we've got the Abzan insert with the symbol on the back, as we saw. And then the little info about how to build a pre-release deck. I won't show the... oh, actually, I guess I won't have to show this at all after this. But here is information about all 5 of the clans. So that's kind of cool, especially if you're getting a clan-specific thing and you're not familiar with Tarkir. Now you can find out what the other clans do. So that, especially if you're going to more than one event and you want to see, like, maybe, what do I want to play at the next one? There is... The way that this works, because it's a Abzan-specific kit... We're going to get 5 different packs of regular Play Booster packs, right? And 1 pack that is called a seeded pack, which means that it is going to have only cards that you could play if you were playing Abzan, which, as a reminder, is white, green, and black. So, the seeded pack, we will open it up. We will see what our promo, foil, rare, or mythic is, and what the cards are that we get. We start with a Warden of the Grove, which is our promo foil rare. Not an amazing foiling pattern. Like, here is cool looking, right? This is a very good card, by the way. Just a really cool card. I like it a lot. So that's really good. Wow. Okay. It is not legendary, and we just immediately have another one behind it. So yes, please. That's so cool. Okay. Yeah, more chances at Warden of the Groves, the better. We have a Sand Step Citadel, which is the tri-land, the uncommon tri-land for the Abzan clan. We have Marshal of the Lost as a black-white dual-colored card, and an uncommon. We have a Skirmish Rhino, very nice. A Luxodon Battle Priest. If you don't get it, Abzan are about putting counters on things. We have a Reputable Merchant. So the cool thing about this is, even if we were only playing 2 colors, let's say, and maybe splashing for black, you could, if you didn't have the swamp yet, you could pay 2 white-green for this. Or if you were putting this into Sultai, let's say, and you just didn't have white in your deck at all, you could put this in the Sultai deck with green, black, and 2 instead of white. So some utility there, which is pretty great with cards like that. The devotees are absolutely incredible in this set. This is the Abzan devotee. I assume you're going to get one of your specific type in each seeded pack, hopefully. But the nice thing is, once per turn, you can pay one of any color and add one of your 3 colors if you are in Abzan. And this one, they all do something slightly different. This one you can get back from your graveyard to your hand for 3 mana at any time, which is really nice. We have a Fortress Kinguard. Again, mono white, but still obviously works in Abzan. It's got the Abzan clan symbol in the background of the text box because it works very well with that. It endures. You can put a counter on it or make a spirit. There is the Sand Skitter Outrider as well. Again, monocolored card, still very nice. We have a Feral Deathgorger. So this is one of the dragons, and this is one of the dragons with an omen on it. This is a very good one. 3/5 Flying Death Touch for 6, or you can put a counter on one of your things, draw a card, and then shuffle this card back into your deck. We have an Osseous Exhale. I like the exhales a lot in this set too. I think they really did a good job with the, what's it called? Why can't I think of what it's called? But the like set of cards that are all of a similar ilk. So there's an exhale of each color that's like Dragon Breath based, and they're all very strong in my opinion. So Osseous Exhale, very good one. Happy to have that. Dragonstorm Globe, I'm not as in love with this one. If you really need the fixing, I guess it's fine. And if you have like a bunch of dragons, maybe, but otherwise this card is fine in my opinion. There is a Stormplane Detainment. I have mentioned, if you have not seen our stream already, where we have already played a lot of this format, you should definitely go check it out. We did the streamer event sponsored by Wizards of the Coast, and thank you to them for that opportunity. But we played a lot of this set, and removal is very prevalent in this set. Very, very prevalent. So having a piece of removal in our seeded pack is quite helpful. I like that. Stormplane Detainment, and one of the dual lands in our colors is Scoured Barrens, enters and gains us a life, and it is white or black. So that is the only seeded pack we get. We only get one. On Arena, apparently we get 2 in sealed, but for here you only get 1, and then all these other packs are going to be random in terms of what we get. So if we get red rares or blue rares, if we are specifically going to go Abzan, which I mean at this point it's very likely, then those are going to be useless to us. So hopefully these cards and these packs will help us out, and we'll have to see. We start with a Roamer's Routine. Very helpful. Now, obviously, this is a Teamer card. It shows the Teamer symbol in the background. It's got Harmonize, which is the Teamer ability, but it's mono green. And we've already seen that mono green absolutely works in Abzan as well. So there is no reason that we couldn't put this in our deck. And since it allows us to go get a basic, it is 3 mana, so in my opinion, a little expensive. But the nice thing about it is if we really need to fix our lands or our mana, this is a very decent way of doing that. So no issues there. We have another Exhale in Dispelling Exhale. So again, blue card not necessarily going to work for this kit, but like I said, I really like the Exhales personally. I think they're very good. Bearer of Glory. So you can see as well that even though this is a creature, it does not have a clan symbol in the background of the text box. So, you know, this isn't necessarily specifically trying to do the thing that Abzan wants to do, but it is still mono white. We could absolutely put this in. We have a Twin Bolt, very good, again, talk about good removal spells, burn spells, whatever you want to call it. Not necessarily for this deck, of course, but still. We have Cruel Truths. I mean, card draw in black is quite helpful. This is how card draw in black typically works, but a good one. I like this card. Sagu Wildling. I mean, hey, another way to go get a different color of mana or, you know, some fixing or whatever that you might need. You could play the Roost Seek Omen there, or just play this late game as a 5-mana 3/3, gain 3 life with flying. We have a Desolate Earth Carver, which is an Abzan-themed card, which is very nice. Again, they don't need to be if they're mono-green, right? Like, that Sagu Wildling we're probably just going to play regardless, but this is Abzan-themed. It does endure 3 when it enters, which is very nice. We have a Jeskai Monument. So there is the cycle, by the way, is what I was thinking of before, with a set of cards that all work around a common theme. But anyway, the cycle of monuments is in this set as well. And this one, as you can see what the monuments do, they let you go and get one of the lands of that type when it enters, put that land into your hand and then shuffle, and then later you do some type of effect that is, again, something that your clan is going to enjoy. So again, this is Jeskai specific, not exactly what we're looking for, but a good card nonetheless if you are in Jeskai. So, and that's our first uncommon. We have Whale of War as the second. Again, can work for Abzan, very nice. And Disruptive Storm Brood, green and black, because of the omen is black. And we could absolutely do that with Abzan, so very, very nice. Now, behind our 3 uncommons, as play boosters tend to do, we are going to have another card that is either an uncommon, a rare, or a mythic. So, our next card is another uncommon in Spectral Denial. So glad that it wasn't a rare because it is a blue card. But speaking of our rare or mythic, we have an alt art Kishla Village. And now notably this one is technically a Sultai land because it says it enters tapped unless you control an island or a swamp. But we could control a swamp. Because we're in Abzan, and so this is just a pretty good land. I would absolutely play this. It could enter untapped if we had that swamp, like I said. It'll tap for a green regardless, and then in the late game, you can pay 4, tap it, and surveil too. Very nice land. Behind it, we have a foil rare in Abzan colors. Very nice. Wow. In Revival of the Ancestors. So again, foil in every pack, right? So, but this foil could have been common, uncommon, could have been any card in the entire set, and it happened to be a rare in our colors, which is just amazing. And this card is nuts. You make 3 spirits, you put counters on things, you give your creatures trample and lifelink until end of turn. Just very, very nice card in Revival of the Ancestors. Absolutely going to play that one. We have a foil basic in a plains as well. Notably, your land slot can be foil or non-foil. It could be a regular basic or a full art basic, or it could be a dual land. So we saw the Scoured Barrens earlier, the black-white dual land that gains you a life and enters tapped. This land slot that we got a basic plains in could have been one of those dual lands, and it was not, which is a little unfortunate. I will say that from opening product for the store and doing that large opening that I did, which hopefully you got a chance to check out like I mentioned, I did notice that it is much, much more likely that you will open a dual land. So a little unfortunate that the first one we got was a land, or a basic, I mean, but it is pretty cool that it's in foil, so that's awesome. And then obviously, as you've been sitting here, it's a bird token and a monk token on the other side. Not bad at all. We are on to our second play booster, regular play booster, and we have a Caustic Exhale. So here's the Exhale in black. Very good. Very, very good. We have a Crotic Nest Guard. Again, all in our colors. Very nice. It is a 4/4 defender for 3, but you can pay 3 to make it allowed to attack, as though it didn't have defender. There is a High Spire Bell Ringer. Not a terrible card for Jeskai, but not really what we're trying to do. Another Aushus Exhale, absolutely. As a reminder for folks, or maybe a heads up for folks who may not be aware, but in Limited, you can play as many of any card as you open. So if we opened 5 Aushus Exhales, which I'm not asking for, I'm just saying, we could play all 5, despite the fact that if you were playing Constructed, you would be limited to 4. We have a Molten Exhale. Wow, 3 Exhales in this pack so far. Molten Exhale, one of the ones that we can't play in an Abzan deck. But we have Worthy Cost, which is a very nice removal spell. You do have to sacrifice something, but still, there are a couple of things that we've seen where you can make tokens, right? And so if you make like a 1/1 spirit token, you can sack it later to exile like their best creature on their battlefield for 1 mana. Seems pretty strong. Good card. We have a Reigning Victor. So this is one of those opportunities like I was talking about before. This is very clearly a Mardu card, but it's red, white, black, and so if we paid 2 white, black, we could absolutely put this card in our deck. It does say when this creature enters, one of our creatures gets +1/+0 and indestructible until end of turn. That's just a good ability. And then Mobilize is also quite fine. You are paying 4 mana for a 3/3 with Mobilize 1, but again, to give something +1/+0 and indestructible, like, I wouldn't necessarily have this like as like a Windmill Slam, no question include, but it's a pretty good card. So As always, with anything that I talk about today, if you want to let me know if you would put Reigning Victor in the Abzan deck, let me know in the comments down below. We have a Heritage Reclamation. So the nice thing about pre-release is that it is best of 3, and so you don't necessarily have to put this type of a card in your main board. If you notice that they are playing with some annoying artifacts and or enchantments, or they're doing some graveyard shenanigans, you could absolutely board this in after game 1. And swap out maybe something that isn't going to work for that particular matchup. So on Arena Best of 1, when we stream on Mondays, this might be something that we would have to decide whether or not to put in based on like what we feel like prevalently we've been coming across in general. But this is absolutely a very good sideboard card. We have a Kin Tree Severance, which is 1, a very good removal spell, 2, also in Abzan colors. And that is fantastic. This absolutely gets in and is our first uncommon in this pack. We have a Channeled Dragonfire, which is our second uncommon, and an Effortless Master, which is the third. This is the 2 colors that we're not playing, so unfortunately, probably not going to get in with the Effortless Master, but that's fine. Behind our 3 uncommons, we have a rare in Herd Heirloom. Notably, 2 mana, can tap to add mana of any color, but you can only cast a creature spell with it. But it's green. We've noticed a lot of our green is fixing based, or a lot of our fixing is in green, which is very nice. So if we are heavily green and then secondary white or black splashing the third, that would work out quite nicely. It also has other abilities too, so really, really good. The Herd Heirloom is our rare. There maybe is another one here. There is not, but there is a foil uncommon in Mystic Monastery. So this is the Jeskai Tri-Land, which is fine for us. I mean, obviously, we're not going to play it. I should rephrase. It's really cool. It looks very pretty, but we will not be playing it in this deck. It is 2 of the 3 colors that we are not, so it is just a worse Plains because it enters tapped. Behind Mystic Monastery is a Rugged Highlands, which again, it does enter and let us gain 1 life, and I do know that there is the possibility of like trying to play 5 color depending on how many lands you get and stuff like that. I mean, right now all of our rares are green or Abzan in total, so I'm not really too worried about it. But yes, if we needed to splash red for any reason, this would absolutely get in because again, we are very heavy in green. Behind the Rugged Highlands is a Soldier token that is also a Soldier token on the other side. We are halfway through this kit 1 of 5. Strap in, this is going to be a long video, I do apologize, but also, like, this is really cool. We had cut it down to not opening 5 of these anymore, but then they decided to have 5 different clans in this set. So here is an Ice Ridge Serpent. I like this card. I'm like an Ice Elemental guy myself, but still. We have a Salt Road Pack Beast. Again, if you're making a bunch of spirits with the Endure ability or whatever it's called, this gets a lot cheaper, and that's pretty great. So this is a very good card. I like it. Narset's Rebuke, again, not for us, but a fine card. Kin Tree Nurturer endures 1, and it is specifically an Abzan card. It's also very good. So yes, definitely gets in. Champion of Dusan. Now, notably, this one showing that it's Sultai, but it is mono green. Well, I would absolutely play this one. We have a Ringing Strike Mastery, decent removal spell, but not for us. A Summit Intimidator, again, a card not for us. Mardu Monument. Now, notably, if we did, I guess, want to splash red, but like, yeah, this would be, it's 2 of our 3 colors, right, in white and black. So we could put this in, but the monuments themselves aren't really the thing. Like, if we had gotten the Tri-Land in Mardu colors, then we would definitely put that in, because it's essentially then just a dual land for us. But because of this, like, you need the red to be able to, like, activate the secondary ability, and trying to splash for red just to do that is probably not strong enough, in my opinion. You can obviously, like I said, let me know in the comments what you think. That is our first uncommon. We have Formation Breaker as the second. That's cool. As long as you control a creature with a counter on it. I mean, as we've seen with Abzan, we're probably going to control a creature with a counter on it. So that's incredible. And a 100 Battle Veteran. Again, in our colors, absolutely. Really, really great. It does care about different kinds of counters among creatures you control. Abzan is trying to do that, but like I feel like we haven't seen much besides +1/+1 counters, so that's not ideal to get to that point, but still. And then we have behind it, our next card is... Ooh... a Alt Art Twin Maw Storm Brood. Now, notably, if we want to play this just as the 6-mana dragon, we can, and we don't have to worry about the fact that we don't have the color for the Omen. Would I put it in? I don't know. I mean, it's a pretty good card. When it enters, we gain 5 life, and it's a 6-mana 5/4 flyer. The issue is that the nice thing about these cards is being able to cast the Omen if you have it early game and don't have the ability to play it anytime soon, so you can shuffle it back in and still get some type of effect out of it. So not being able to do that is a little unfortunate, but I would still put it in. Maybe, I mean, probably be like a 23rd, but I would consider it is really what I'm getting at. But it's really, this alt art is gorgeous, by the way. And so, our rare or mythic is a rare, green rare, in Nature's Rhythm, which, by the way, means that, again, literally every rare that we have opened so far has been mono green, and then we got a foil Revival of the Ancestors, which is Abzan specific, which is crazy. Absolutely crazy. So, here is Nature's Rhythm as our rare, and then our foil is a foil common in Jade Cast Sentinel. I don't love this one. It's fine. Probably not getting in this particular deck, but a fine card. Notably, put target card from a graveyard on the bottom of its owner's library. If you are really coming up against a strong graveyard synergies type deck, this can absolutely be a sideboard card for you, so just something to be aware of. Behind the Sentinel, our land is a Bloodfell Caves. Again, a way that we could splash red if we had to, but I don't see it. I just don't see the need, to be honest. But because we have the red-green land and now the red-black land, we could do it if we wanted to. Behind Bloodfell Caves is a Spirit, which is cool. We're probably going to be making those, and a Spirit. So very, very nice that we now have the 2 of the tokens that we might need to support our strategy, which is pretty cool. Usually, by the way, ask around at the stores around you. I know Champion does, because I'm familiar with that store. But whatever store you're playing at, don't hesitate to ask if they... First of all, ask the players around you if they have like spare tokens that they don't need for their strategy that you do for yours. But also, like I said, if you ask the store might have some that you could borrow for the event. Just make sure that you give them back. That's just polite. And I know sometimes people forget, but you can always go back later on if you like leave them on the side or something like that. So we have a Teamer Devotee. So another example. This is only our second Devotee of the opening. That's kind of crazy. But here is a Teamer Devotee, notably still only one of our colors, so this one probably wouldn't get in. We have a Tempest Hawk, not bad. I mean, obviously it wants you to go look for other ones, and this is our first one, so probably not playing it, but something to be aware of that we have one. Underfoot Underdogs, not for this deck, but a cool card. Another Caustic Exhale, not bad at all. -3/-3 for 1 mana is pretty great. Or 1 or 2 mana, I guess. A Crotic Nest Guard again. I don't know how in love I am with playing 2 of them, especially as 3 mana creatures, but still. We have Aggressive Negotiations, first one of these we've seen. And we do get to put a counter on up to 1 target creature we control after taking one of the cards out of their hand, or at least looking at their hand, at minimum. So not bad. We have a Sibsig Appraiser. It's not a bad one, but again, not for us. We have a Teeming Dragonstorm in our colors, which is nice. When it enters, we make 2 2/2 soldiers, and then whenever a dragon we control enters, we return this to our hand, so then you can obviously replay it and make 2 more 2/2 soldiers. Very nice. Absolutely gets in. Good stuff. And that's our first uncommon. We have a Keru Goldkeeper, notably 2 of our 3 colors again. But the blue is not something we're going to be able to do, and even with what we've seen so far, we do have some fixing support for red. I haven't really seen any for blue. So while this is a really cool card, I do not think we're going to be playing this one. And so our third uncommon is a Sunset Strike Master. Obviously, this does tap for red, but it also costs red. So again, definitely not getting in this deck, but still. And then behind it, our next card is an uncommon in Host of the Hereafter. Now, notably, this is very good with +1/+1 counter strategies or counter strategies in general. and it is 2 of our 3 colors, so it absolutely gets in. It works really well with our strategy, so very, very nice. And so our next rare or mythic is... oh boy. Okay, I was about to say, as I pulled the card, I was like, oh no, it's not green, but it also isn't any other color. It's a Mox Jasper. I mean, hey, a mythic. That's pretty great. I am happy with a mythic. I'm happy with a Mox Jasper, because, you know, pretty sought after. So good card nonetheless. And yeah, I'm happy to have opened that. It's our first mythic of the video, so I'll take it. Thank you. Behind Mox Jasper, our foil, yes, is a River Walk Technique, a foil common that wouldn't go in our deck, but also don't love that foiling pattern. Yeah, look at that. That's weird. Okay, well, anyway. Behind the Technique, our land is a Blossoming Sands. Finally, outside of the seeded pack, a land that actually will help us play our spells. And so that is really great. Absolutely gets in. And then an Elephant token and a Treasure token. We have 1 pack to go in Kit 1, which, I mean, hey, after that Mox Jasper and all our mono green rares, that's insane. So that's pretty great. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comments, like I said. Ooh, that's a good card. We have a Sagu Pummeler. I really like this one a lot. The renewability is quite good, to be honest, but again, it's mono green. It absolutely can get in an Abzan deck, despite the fact that it's a Sultai card. Sagu Pummeler, and it should, by the way. This is a very good card. Unending Whisper. I love this art a lot. An Arishan Sun Shield does allow you to tap creatures. You can exile things from a graveyard. So again, this doesn't have to be a sideboard card for you, just you know, in case you come across some graveyard strategies or synergies, because this is just a 4-mana 3/4 that you can use to tap stuff. So not bad at all. I would probably put this in. We have a Shock Brigade. Again, not for us, but not a bad card. Ooh, another Abzan Devotee. Hell yes. I will absolutely play a second one. Like, if we got like 4, maybe I wouldn't play all 4. No, I probably still would. They're 2-drops with 2 power. I would still, and you can get them back from the graveyard. Never mind. Ignore me. I would absolutely play a million of these things. But this is our second one, and I'm definitely playing a second one. We have an Ember Mouth Sentinel. I'm not in love with this one. It does let us go get a land for 2 mana, but again, I don't see that we're going to be having trouble fixing. If we were trying to do like 5-color good stuff, we might consider this, but like I said, I don't think with this kit we're doing that. So we have a Temur Tawny back. It is only 1 of our 3 colors, so not getting in, unfortunately. Fun card, adorable. We have a Mystic Monastery again as our first uncommon, still not very helpful. We have a Gurmag Rakshasa as the second. This is a very good card. I have noticed a couple of like decent 6-drops, which is a little concerning. So something I'm gonna have to keep track of, I guess. If we were making this deck, if you like go back and look with like 3 or 4 different 6-drops, that might be a little tough. If some of them are the dragons with the omens, it's still probably fine because you can play them for the lower casting cost. But still, having a lot of high drops is a little scary. But this is a very good card, so I would almost certainly put this in. And we have a Zergo's Vanguard. Again, not for us, but a decent card. And so our next card after our 3 uncommons is another uncommon in Whirlwing Storm Brood. Again, it's blue. It does have the green omen, but again, I don't know that I would be playing this card to put 3+1/+1 counters on one of our creatures for 3 mana. It's not bad, and it works really well with our strategy. Again, let me know in the comments, would you play this as just an omen, basically? And so, our rare or mythic is a... Wow, man, what a kit. A Yathan Road Watcher. All of our rares and mythics, all of them, literally all of them have been on-colored. All of them. That is nuts. Really, really nuts. This is specifically an Abzan card. Amazing. Just like our foil was. Our pack foil of Revival of the Ancestors, the saga. That's insane. Absolutely insane. Yeah, I think we're okay with this deck, y'all. I think we're going to be okay. Behind it, our foil is a foil uncommon on color in Dalkovin Pack Beasts. I actually like this foiling pattern too. Very pretty. And it is a mobilized card, but I mean, it could get in. I don't know if it would definitively. It's an 0/4 Vigilance mobilized 3. I mean, hey, Abzan puts counters on things, right? So maybe, who knows? But behind the Pack Beasts, our land is a Windscarred Crag. So the 3rd color, we have black-red, green red, white red. You think this kit wants us to play red? Too bad, because I'm not doing it. I don't care how much fixing I have. Ain't no reason. Although again, let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree. But here is Windscarred Crag, a foil as well, and we have a Reliquary Dragon and a 4/4 Flying Dragon. Very, very nice. That is kit 1. I mean, that is insane. That was very much an Obzon kit, and it had a Mox Jasper as well, which is hilarious and awesome. I said I would do it in alphabetical order, so next in alphabetical order is Jeskai. So, oh, by the way, this is what it looks like. I don't want to not show that off for everybody. See what the dragon looks like and all that fun stuff. Cool. And then, oh, wow, really? This one's not, these are not cooperating this time around. Boo. Wow, really? That's sad, man. Okay, well, anyway, it says, act as one. I think you can see that. Act as one. Okay, on the inside, Jeskai, led by monk practitioners of the Way, seeking unity of thought and a shared understanding of reality. Precise, compassionate, and rigorous, the Jeskai consider it their duty to guide Tarkir to a better future. And the counters or tokens on the side are dark blue and light blue. Interesting, not bad, not bad. Here is what the cutouts or punch-outs look like. Cool. And then on the inside, can we see or not see? We can kind of see. Yeah, that's a little better. Okay, and then this as well. Cool, cool. Yeah, all right, why not? So that is what that looks like. We'll leave that on the side as well. Get that out of the way. And we'll do what we're here for. Here is the box. Ooh, okay. So here is the Jeskai specific D20. Very nice, the spin down. Okay, so now we have those two off on the side. Again, obviously we're getting all 5, but still. I will move these things out of the way and make sure that we can show you all what we are here for. Again, the packs themselves. Those go off on the side. Here is the insert for Jeskai. Okay, and then, again, we showed this off already, so I don't have to do that. Thank you. Okay, and so, our seeded pack for Jeskai. Again, red, white, and blue is Jeskai, and on the inside of our Jeskai seeded pack, our promo foil rare is New Way Forward, which, by the way, super pleased to have gotten this in foil. I know Amy and I really love this art. Amy, my wife, if you are unfamiliar. But Amy and I really like this art a lot. So I'm glad that we got this in foil as our promo. Very, very nice. It's a pretty good card, too. I mean, it's 5 mana, but you can, you know, if they like attack you with a big dragon or something, you want to hit them back with that dragon and then draw a bunch of cards. It's pretty nice. We have a Corey Steel Cutter as our rare, or mythic, I guess, in the seeded pack. So that's pretty nice. Not bad at all. It's got Flurry, which is what Jeskai wants to be doing, so that's cool. There is the Dual Land in Mystic Monastery. Very nice. Again, we got 2 in the last kit. Maybe we'll get lucky enough in this one to get more than 1. We have a River Wheel Sweep. Very good removal spell. I like it a lot, actually. Very, very good. And again, all 3 of our colors, usually I would say like, oh, well, you know, because I'm pretty sure we splashed this in other decks when we played the event on Wednesday, because it's just that good. It's a really cool card. So I'd pay 4 mana for this ability, but hopefully in this deck we won't have to. We can play it for 3. We have a Jeskai Brushmaster with Double Strike and Prowess. I mean, the Double Strike alone, 4 mana, 2/4 Double Strike is pretty great, but the fact that it will also have Prowess, so you could just like cast an instant and just make this thing bigger and like make combat impossible, is really, really great. We have a Sunset Strike Master. So I talked about this earlier. It's a 2 mana 3/1 that taps to add mana. Incredible. And then late game you can sack it to kill a flyer. Absolutely incredible card. So glad we got it. Monastery Messenger as well. Again, in the Jeskai colors, but we could have paid mana if we were missing some of them, but hopefully we won't be in this one. So here we go with Monastery Messenger. Very good card. And we can get a non-creature, non-land from our graveyard back on top of our library. which is pretty good. We're probably going to have a couple of spells, you know, just a few. Jeskai Devotee, again, it's the Devotee, it's very helpful. Absolutely gets in. Devoted Duelist, 2 mana, 2/1 with haste is just good. And then the fact that Flurry late game will still allow you to ping your opponent for 1 each time, absolutely incredible. Plus, it's a cute goblin monk that Amy loves, and I love monks, so Amy loves goblins, I love monks. There you go. We have a High Spire Bell Ringer. This is very helpful if we are trying to do flurry type things. The second spell we cast each turn costs 1 less. Absolutely incredible. Really good card, absolutely gets in. A Storm Shriek Feral is a red dragon with a red omen. And so it, again, absolutely should get in. Good card. And early game, you can discard a card to draw 2 cards. Maybe if you're playing it early game, it's probably because you're a little short on land or want to make sure that you hit your land drops, and this is a great way to be able to do that. You could, like, discard a higher costed card. There are obviously cards in, like, Teamer or whatever that would allow you to get into your like harmonize abilities and things like that. So you could, like, discard something that works while it's in your graveyard too, which is really nice. So there's a Storm Shriek Feral. Osseous Exhale, very nice, absolutely. I mean, I already talked about it. It goes in this deck too. A Rebellious Strike, +3/+0 until end of turn and draw a card. I mean, I'm not in love with this one. It's fine. And again, if you need spells, it probably gets in. Plus, if we have that that Prowess Double Striker on the battlefield, this card's probably just insane. Behind it, a Riverwalk Technique. This is a removal spell and or a counter spell, but it's a little expensive. I actually don't hate this type of an effect or this type of an ability. And again, if you need spells and you get benefits from casting spells on top of the fact that you're doing whatever the spell says, probably pretty damn good. So for this deck, almost certainly gets in. Behind the Technique is a Swiftwater Cliffs as well. Again, 2 of our 3 colors, 1 of the dual lands in our colors. Very, very helpful. Let's move on to the first non-seeded pack for the Jeskai kit. We start, unfortunately, with a Snakeskin Veil. It's a very good card, don't get me wrong, but green and black are not what we want to see today. And by today, I mean in this kit. Dispelling Exhale is a very good one, though. Very, very good. Gets in. A Bearer of Glory. Again, I think this worked better in the Abzan deck than it does here, even, but could technically be played. It's probably not high on my list, though, to be honest. Another Devoted Duelist. Yes, please. No question. Gets in. Evolving Wilds, if we need it for fixing, fine. Don't worry about it. But I don't know. Right now, I guess we'll have to see when we get towards the end of this if we will need the Evolving Wilds or not. We have a Cruel Truths. Again, black is not what we want to see so far. We have a Summit Intimidator. 4/3 reach with 4, and when it enters, one of their creatures can't block this turn. It's not terrible. It's not exactly what Jeskai wants to be doing. So again, I would put it in, but I'm not going to necessarily do so highly. Frontline Rush is a good card. Again, putting 2 goblins on the field, like this wants to be in a faster deck, like a Mardu deck, to be honest. But, I mean, at instant speed, making 2 1/1s or buffing one of your things for the number of creatures you control is not bad. It is a spell, so it would help us out in that regard. It's just you're not really going wide, so the number of creatures that we control probably is not going to be high in this strategy. But still, not a bad card, and it is 2 of our 3 colors, so I would probably play it, even if it's just to make 2 goblins at instant speed. We have an Opulent Palace. That, by the way, that was our first uncommon. Opulent Palace is the second, and again, green and black is not what we want to see, so this land is not great. So far, kit not very exciting for us, I will not lie, but hopefully we will get helped out. It is only the second pack. And our third uncommon is a Strategic Betrayal. Like I said, not sexy. But our next card, it could be a rare or mythic, it could be an uncommon, we know this already. Our next card is a rare in black in Sinkhole Surveyor. I think we got a little spoiled with the Abzan kit, I think. So that's unfortunate. But here is Sinkhole Surveyor. It's a good card. It's just not for a Jeskai deck. And behind it, Teamer Battle Crier. 2 of our 3 colors. If we splash green, we could sure play it. Spells we cast cost 1 less for each creature we control with power 4 or greater. So in and of itself makes our things 1 cheaper. And again, if we're trying to cast 2 spells in a turn, that's actually quite helpful. But besides that, are we going to have a ton of other cards with power 4 or greater? I have no idea. But like I said, not in love with this kit so far. I won't lie. But this one at least has the possibility to be splashed. Sinkhole Surveyor kind of doesn't. Behind the Battle Crier, our foil is a Kishla Skimmer, which again, part green, don't love seeing it, but if we are splashing green in any capacity, not bad, not bad. It's a 2/2 flyer for 2, so you don't really want like low drops as like your splash cards, but maybe we can make it work, who knows. Behind the Skimmer, our land is a Bloodfell Caves in foil, but again, it's part black. It's not what we want. That's unfortunate. Okay, well, Jeskai deck, you got to pick it up, man. Or kit. Jeskai kit. You got to pick it up. What is this? Auroral Procession. That's right. Auroral Procession. Okay, well, like I said, we got to pick it up here because that was not a good first pack for the Jeskai kit. Narset's Rebuke is quite nice. It's even got the Jeskai symbol. Look at that. And you get to add the Jeskai colors after you play this card for 5 mana. So you deal 5 to a creature, add Jeskai, and if it would die, you exile it instead. Very good removal spell. Good card in general for our deck. Awesome. Not a great follow-up with Delta Bloodflies. Sultai Devotee. We are not playing green. And again, it's green-black, so not great. We have an Ice Ridge Serpent, so this time we're happy to see this. Return a creature an opponent controls to their hand for 5 mana, and it's a 3/3. Not bad, not bad. Not amazing, but I would put it in. Salt Road Pack Beast, again, this one unfortunately better in the Abzan deck, because again, we're not really trying to go wide with Jeskai, but it could get in, part white. So, I don't know if I would pick it highly, to be honest, but or put it in highly, but we'll see. An Embermouth Sentinel, again, if we're really trying to fix, maybe, but otherwise I'm not in love with it. Another Teamer Tawny back. Now this one could get in without us having to worry about like, oh, can we splash? Do we have to? We don't have to. This could just be a 4 mana, 4/3, draw, then discard. Absolutely fine. 2 white and red. Or blue and red, excuse me. And I would absolutely play this thing. Not a bad card at all. Behind the Tawny back, we have a Dalkovin Pack Beast. Again, it's got Mobilize. It probably wants to be in the Mardu deck, but it could go into ours. And the fact that it's an 0/4 for 3, actually probably not bad if we're sitting back trying to cast a bunch of spells and we don't have a lot of creatures. Having an 0/4 on the ground as like a solid blocker is not a terrible idea. So that's pretty great. And it's got Vigilance, so if we really wanted to attack, we still could have it back on blocks. But anyway, behind the Pack Beast, that's our first uncommon, by the way, in this pack. A Rain Veil Rejuvenator. We may mill 3 cards, and we could add green, but yeah, that's not what we're doing today, despite the fact that we've talked about Teamer so much now. A Ython Tomb Guard. This is not good, y'all. Not good. Not that this card's not good, but we're opening a lot of green and black. And a Frontier Bivouac. Now that is a very helpful card if we are trying to splash green. Thank you. That is good stuff. And right now it looks like we're going to have to do that. So Frontier Bivouac it is. Great, great, great. Our next card is a rare in Fang Keeper's Familiar. Again, unfortunately, it's 2 of the colors that we do not want. That is very unfortunate, and there's like almost no chance we can play it. Behind the Familiar, our foil is another Devoted Duelist. We're just going to be only Devoted Duelist. That's what we're playing today. It is a foil common Devoted Duelist. We already have 2 of them, so this is the 3rd, and I'm absolutely playing it, but still not in love with it for this kit. Not in love with it. Another Bloodfell Caves. Another one. Green is the one we're trying to splash, not black, right? So not in love with this one either. Behind it, a Reliquary Dragon. Whoops. /4/4 Flying Dragon. Okay, well, we're halfway through the packs, and I'm not super excited about this particular kit. I mean, look, thankfully I'm opening it for this video and not for... this would be the type of kit that I would open in a pre-release, though. That's my luck, unfortunately. I don't get the Abzan kit like I just opened. I get this. But anyway, that's fine. We start with a Trade Route Envoy, and again, look, if I get value out of here, I'm going to be super happy. Super happy. A Focus the Mind, not bad. Costs 2 less if you cast another spell this turn. So again, allows you or helps us to cast 2 spells in a turn for Flurry. And we can draw 3, discard 1, which is card draw at instant speed. Absolutely incredible. We have a Mardu Devotee. Again, white and red it filters into. I would absolutely put this in. Very, very nice. We have a Meticulous Artisan. which again has prowess. It's a 4-mana 3/3, good card nonetheless, and we can make a treasure, so it helps us ramp into things and or fix if we are splashing. So very nice, good card gets in. We have a Feral Deathgorger again, so again, unfortunately not super helpful here. Cool card, but not exactly what we want to be looking for. We have an Aggressive Negotiations, still not helpful. Seen it already. We have a Sibsig Appraiser, absolutely gets in. Look at the top two, one into our hand and the other into our graveyard. Again, if we have any of the cards that care about being in graveyards with Harmonize or something like that, this card helps with that and helps fuel that too. So very, very nice. Behind the Appraiser, we have another black uncommon in Venerated Stormsinger. Not a big fan, not a fan. For this kit, we have a Sonic Shrieker, which 2 of our 3 colors, if we're... or 2 of its colors are 2 of our colors. If we're splashing black, we could do it. This feels rough, man. Really, really rough. But we could put this in. I would doubt it, but we could. And an Equilibrium Adept. Finally, a specifically Jeskai card, which is awesome. When it enters, we exile the top card of our library. We can play it until the end of our next turn. It's got Flurry. It's a 4-mana 2/4. Yes, please. Really, really good. And I mean, yes, at this point, I'm a little desperate, but this is still a good card nonetheless. Behind it, our next card is a Kishla Skimmer again. Second one of those we've seen in this kit, which is, again, super unfortunate. And our rare or mythic is... whoops. It is the Teamer Mythic Dragon in Ureni, the Song Unending. I really think this kit wanted us to play Teamer. I like Teamer, don't get me wrong, but this is a Jeskai kit. Does the kit know that? I don't think the kit knows that. But anyway, if I can play Ureni, I'm playing Ureni. This card is real good. Pro-white, pro-black. When it enters, it deals X damage divided as we choose among any number of target creatures and or planeswalkers our opponents control, where X is the number of lands we control. If we can ramp as well, even better, because it is 8 mana, but it's an 8 mana 10/10 flyer, which is very, very nice. Like I said, if I can play it, I absolutely will. We have the Teamer Battle Crier. We have now 2 of these Kishla Skimmer flying things. So, who knows? But behind Ureni, you already saw it. We have a foil green uncommon in Dragon Sniper. I'm probably not splashing for a 1 mana, or a 1 green mana 1/1. It is a good card, obviously. But anyway, behind it, our land is a Rugged Highlands. Okay, I mean, that helps us to splash green. Very helpful. And a Spirit. And a Spirit. Wow. Okay, well, 2 packs to go. We did get a Mythic, which I'm pleased about. It would be something that we would have to try to splash for, but I would definitely try. A second Focus the Mind is quite nice. I don't know that I would play a third, but 2 is good. A Mardu Devotee again. Again, this would help us splash black. Anyway, we have a Meticulous Artisan again. I would play it. We might have to. We have an Abzan Devotee. Now this one, it's black to cast, so never mind. Very difficult to use in this instance. Piercing Exhale is a very good exhale. I like it a lot. Again, if we're splashing green, I'm probably not splashing it for this. I'll do it for my rare and my mythic, but I'm not going to do it for this. It's a good card, though. We have a Monastery Messenger again. Not bad. Okay, I'll take it. Happily. We have a Dragonstorm Globe. Still not in love with this thing, even for this kit. It does tap to add 1 mana of any color. Maybe that's helpful. Again, let me know in the comments. We have a Descendant of Storms. Notably, it's a 2/1 for 1 in our colors. One of our colors, of course. But you can pay 2 to endure it when it attacks. But, like, we're not really going to be attacking. It's just randomly going to be a 1 mana 2/1. So, you know, we might be able to do it turn 2, right? But that's if we get it in our opening hand, and then we're like weirdly aggressive for like a turn or 2, and then that's it. So whatever. It could get in. We might be desperate enough for it. Who knows? That's our first uncommon. We have Defibrillating Current. This is a good one. So again, 2 mana for the to replace the swamp, and we could play this, and it is a sorcery speed removal spell and life gain. Absolutely gets in. Very, very good card. And our third uncommon is a Dragon Brood's Relic. Not for this deck, even if we're splashing green. Not very helpful. Unfortunate. Our next card is A Zergo Thunder's Decree. Again, we can only play it if we splash black. Plus, this is really synergistic with Mardu and not really great outside of Mardu, in my opinion. I know that he himself attacks as a 2/4, and then you make 2/1/1s that never go away unless, of course, they get blocked or whatever. But, like, yeah, I don't know. I'm not in love with this card in this pool. It's just a good card in general. And then behind it, our next card. Is it a foil? It is not our foil. It is Surrak Elusive Hunter, which again is not what we're... Jesus Christ. All right, well, maybe we're just not in Jeskai. What do we think? I don't know. I really don't know. Like, this looks like it screams Teamer, but I just have no idea, man. This is rough. Behind Surrak, now our foil is, of course, a black card in Sand Skidder Outrider. Whoo, boy, this kit. Oh, my God. Yeah, like I said, we got spoiled by that Abzan kit, y'all. This one's rough. Behind the Outrider, our land is a third Bloodfell Caves, huh? Just a third one. Why? Why? All right, anyway. And a copy token and a monk token. That is a hell of a thing. We have one pack to go. I don't know what we could possibly open to redeem this, but whatever. Let's see. We start with an Auspicious Exhale. That's actually a very decent start. Very decent start. Good removal spell. I like it. We have a Shock Brigade. Again, it looks like it wants to be Mardu, but I would take it. It's a 2-mana 1/3. It's a good blocker. Feral Deathgorger again. Unfortunate. Trade Route Envoy again. Unfortunate. Focus the Mind the third. I literally said I wouldn't love playing a third one of these, but I may have to. Who knows? We have an Unburied Earth Carver, which is a black card. Not helpful. We have a Reputable Merchant, which is 2 of the colors that we don't want it to be, or the 2 colors that we don't want it to be. So that's unfortunate. I would not play this for 4 and a white. I just wouldn't. A War Effort, which buffs our creatures, which we won't have a lot of, and makes warriors, which we can't get a lot of benefits from. Okay, well, anyway. That's our first uncommon. Luxodon Battle Priest is the second. I mean, it's in our colors. I would probably play it. And a Karakik Guardian. I think it's a Karakik Guardian. And again, it's a Teamer card. Yeah, I think this kit wants us to be Teamer, man. Like, we have a Mythic in Teamer. We have a Rare in Teamer. We have a Green Rare. And now we have this good, like, Teamer uncommon as well. We have the Triland in Teamer, which is the same number of Teamer Trilands that we have Jeskai Trilands. So... Jesus, I don't know, man. And then our next card is an Alchemist's Assistant, which is another black uncommon, unfortunately. And our last, unless we get lucky with foils or whatever, but our last, rare or mythic, is... Hey, one that we could actually play legitimately. A Frostcliff Siege. And if we're Teamer, we could play this as well. So there you go. It does say Jeskai or Teamer. So, wow, that this card is taunting me because it's telling me to choose Jeskai or Teamer. I don't want to, Kit. You can't make me. But people in the comments can. And not make me, but can choose. Behind it, our foil is a foil common in Molten Exhale, which gets into no matter what deck we would use, Teamer or Jeskai, which is pretty nice. Our land is a Blossoming Sands, which, again, would help us splash Teamer, but that's if we were doing Jeskai splash green. If we're just doing Teamer, this would not be helpful to us, because we don't need the white. And behind it, lastly, ooh, that's pretty, Taval, Arbiter of Virtue, the... one of these spirit dragons. Very, very cool. Okay, this was a weird one. I wasn't in love with it just in terms of, like I said, like playability of the stuff that we opened as a Jeskai kit. But the cards were fun, so there's that. We saw a fair bit of it. Let's move on to Mardu. Okay, let's look at this one. It's very cool. Mardu, for folks who are unaware, is red, white, black. Let's see if this one works for us. Hey, Dare to Keep Up. Yeah, that's for sure. For Mardu, yeah. Making a lot of tokens, Mardu is. Mardu, Nomads who defend and expand their vast territory through agile tactics and the exploitation of weakness. A unified force, the Mardu are revered for their lightning-wielding fighters, expert beast riders, and commitment to their clan. This is what the punch-out parts look like. These are red and blue, dark blue and red, I should say. Okay, here is the art inside of the box. If we can see that. Not bad, not bad. Let's go like this and like that. You can see that too. Okay, so we'll leave this on the side. This is what the inner box looks like. Very cool. I like the matte color of this. It's really nice. Speaking of colors, here is the spin down D20 for the Mardu clan. Looks like cookies and cream. Anyway, here is that. Very, very nice. We have the packs themselves. Let's go ahead and lay those on the side, because we'll look at that in a moment. And this is the insert, or the divider, I guess it's called, for the Mardu box. Okay, well, we'll go right into the seeded pack. No reason to wait. Thank you all for your patience in this video. I know it's a longer one, but thank you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, what? What? Am I blind? Is this... We have to look through the whole thing, but this is a Sultai card. But this is a Mardu box. What? Why? Okay, so I double-checked. Apparently, we just got real lucky in our first two kits, because the promo is not seeded. Despite the fact that it's in your seeded pack, it is not seeded. So, we opened a Sultai promo foil rare in Kotis the Fang Keeper, but... and again, it was just pure luck that in the other two kits, we got promos that matched our colors, or our kit colors, or clan colors. So, anyway, we have Kotis the Fang Keeper. It's sure is... We don't want green or blue, and we sure did get two of them in this, but that's okay. I'm actually not... this card's fine, don't get me wrong, but it's okay that we're probably not going to be playing this one. But behind Kotis, our actual seeded rare is a Thunder of Unity, which is a very good card. Very good card. I like this one quite a bit. Then we move on to our uncommons in Nomad Outpost. Yes, please. Very helpful as a tri-land in our colors. Purging Stormbrood, which is white-black, which works for Mardu quite well. So yes, please. A Bone Cairn Butcher, which is also quite good, and in all three Mardu colors. But again, get that Mobilize going. All of our attacking tokens will have Death Touch when this is on the battlefield. Very good card. And a Zergo's Vanguard, which is a star 3 equal to the number of creatures we control, which again, as you mobilize, that number will go up. And so during combat, at least when you're attacking, this creature could get a lot bigger with all those mobilize triggers. Very, very nice. We have a Reigning Victor as well. We saw this one earlier where we said that we could pay 2 mana for one of the 3 colors. Now we won't have to. Very, very nice. And again, it's got Mobilize. It works really well with our strategy. Absolutely incredible. Also, it entering and giving something plus 1 so and indestructible helps a lot if you have a card like Zergo's Vanguard that's got Mobilize, right? So you want to be able to make a bunch of tokens with it. But if they have a 4/4, they just block it and this dies, right? Now you can give it plus 1 so and indestructible, and so then you can get in with something, make a bunch of mobilized guys, and your guy that mobilizes still lives, which is really helpful. We have a Mardu Devotee, yes please, absolutely great, the Devotee for our colors. A Shock Brigade, so we saw this one earlier and said we would probably play it anyway, but this actually works perfectly with our strategy, so definitely gets in. Great, great card. Salt Road Pack Beast, again, if you're making a bunch of mobilized creatures, you can play this second main. You'll still have those creatures around before you have to sack them, unless, of course, people have blocked them and killed them or whatever, but still, it'll make this cheaper, and so hopefully a lot easier to cast, and you get to draw a card then, second main, which is quite nice. We have a Riling Dawnbreaker as another common here, which is another dragon with an omen. Great. And it makes another token, which again, a lot of these things say that your tokens get some type of a benefit, which is awesome. So yeah, very nice. I would absolutely play this card. We have a Molten Exhale, again, good removal spell. I will absolutely play as many of these as I open. We have a Seize Opportunity. So you can give up to 2 creatures +2/+1 until end of turn. So you can make 2 of your 1/1s into 3/2s, which is not bad. Obviously, you could do it with bigger stuff that will like save it in combat or whatever, so that's pretty good too. Or if it's late game and you want to be able to just have more resources, you can do the Exile effect and exile the top 2 and play them until your next turn. Good stuff. We have a Worthy Cost, again, solid removal, especially. It's sorcery speed, but like, again, any of your mobilized creatures that live through combat are going to be sacrificed anyway, so why not pay 1 black mana, sack 1 of your 1/1s, and get rid of their best creature, and exile it. So don't have to worry about any of the effects in graveyards, etc. Really, really, really good in this kit in particular. Very nice. And a Scoured Barrens, again, 2 of our 3 colors, quite helpful for splashing, or for fixing, I mean. We go on to the non-seeded pack. And hopefully this does a little bit more for us than the Jeskai one did. Already a good thing. 2 mana, 2/1 haste with Flurry. Again, yes, it's got the Jeskai symbol, but it's a red card. It absolutely gets in this deck. Good stuff. Evolving Wilds will help us splash if we need it. Hopefully we won't need it, but still helpful. So good to know. We have a Cruel Truths. We absolutely play this. Again, if we're trying to be faster, drawing cards is super helpful. Surveilling to get stuff into the graveyard, either as a benefit or to get like lands off the top if we don't need them. Also super helpful. And like losing 2 life, if you're trying to be aggro, irrelevant, right? You just want to be turning things sideways. And the more cards you have in your hand, the faster you can play them, the faster you can do that. So this is super helpful for that as well. A Saga Wildling, again, we're not trying to be green or blue, so probably not helpful for this deck, but as we talked about earlier, still a good card. A Highspire Bellringer, still not trying to be blue, not helpful for this deck. A Dragonstorm Globe, again, hopefully we don't need this in this kit, although we have now seen 1 per kit in the first 3, which is pretty interesting. Like I said, in the last kit, that would be the one that I would think it would have been the most helpful in so far. We'll see. We have a Gurmag Nightwatch. Again, don't want to be green, don't want to be blue, and I don't want to play this for 5, so probably not playing this. A Ureni's Rebuff. Again, don't want to look for blue, but that's our first uncommon. So interesting, I guess. Then we have... I'm just fixing these dice over here. They're upside down. But yeah, cool card. Then we have a Corroding Dragonstorm. So, 2 mana enchantment. When it enters, each opponent loses 2, and we gain 2, and we surveil 2. For 2 mana, that's not bad at all. And then whenever a dragon we control enters, we bounce this back to our hand again, play it for 2 mana later. It's not bad. Obviously, Mardu wants to be faster than that, but, I mean, them losing to us, gaining 2, and us surveilling 2 is actually really helpful. I don't know how many dragons we're going to have in this deck, but this is a good card. Just a really good card. So, yeah, I would definitely consider it. Behind the Dragonstorm, we have a Mammoth Bellow. Good card, but again, not for this deck. And so our next card, that's our 3 uncommons. Our next card is another uncommon in Rite of Renewal. Not looking for green, unfortunately. And so hopefully our rare or mythic helps us out. It is a Kishla Village. It does not help us out at all. Unfortunate. Does our foil? Our foil is a Jeskai Devotee. It does tap, it can filter for red or white. So yeah, sure, why not? I would definitely put it in. It's got Flurry, which, I mean, hey, you know, with cheap, low-costed stuff, we very well may be flurrying. So that's pretty good. It does say this creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn, but I mean, like, hey, I would turn this thing sideways if I'm also making a bunch of 1/1s. So sure, why not? I would definitely put this in. Behind it, a Scoured Barrens, which does help us. It fixes our mana quite nicely. So yes, please. And a Spirit/Spirit. Not bad. Not bad at all. Again, kind of like the uncommons weren't amazing in that one for us, but I mean, that otherwise towards the end, quite helpful. A Meticulous Artisan, this one's prowess and makes a treasure. I don't know that, and it's 4 mana. That's like not as much what we're trying to do, but if we need creatures, could absolutely get in. A Feral Deathgorger. Yes, please. This is where we want to see this one. Good stuff. For 2 mana, we can put a counter on one of our things and draw a card. Like, yes. At sorcery speed, unfortunately, but still, again, it's a way to keep alive one of our creatures that is going to be trying to get into mobilize with. So, yeah, absolutely gets in. And then late game, 6 mana, 3/5 flying Death Touch. And we sure, we get to do graveyard shenanigans, but like a 3/5 flyer is really cool. A Piercing Exhale. Well, unfortunately, we're not in green, but a good... Again, I like the Piercing Exhale. I like the exhales in general. We have a Snow Melt Stag. Still not trying to be blue either, unfortunately. This art is so cool, though. A Storm Plane Detainment. Yes. Obviously, removal is just good in general. If you're trying to be more aggressive, maybe you don't want to be doing this, but like, there's always going to be that moment, right, where you're the aggressive deck and they just play that one card where you're like, oh crap, I'm stonewalled now. Well, now you don't have to be anymore. Here is Storm Plane Detainment to get rid of their one big threat that's stopping you from attacking. You play it main phase 1, swing in on combat, like really helpful. Good stuff. A Summit Intimidator as well. Again, making something unable to block. Could be their one thing that's locking you down. Not bad at all. And it's got reach. So if you're really trying to like stop a flyer from coming in and killing you, this could threaten a trade with some of the big dragons. So not bad at all. We have a Dusiat Earthcarver, still not in green. We have a Duty Beyond Death as our first uncommon. And yes, all our creatures get indestructible until end of turn and put a counter on each creature we control at instant speed by sacking like one of our mobilized guys, because who cares? You could obviously do this in response to blocks too. So like they could block something, you could just sack one of the things that they blocked and then like make everything else huge. This is a very good pickup for the Mardu deck. Yes, please. That's our first uncommon and a very good one. We have a Teamer Monument as the second. This one almost certainly not getting used with green and blue, which we talked about not wanting. We have a Rune Scale Storm Brood. Notably, we could just not use the blue Omen, as we talked about. It is a 4 mana 2/4 flyer that cares about, like, gives us benefits for casting non-creature spells or dragon spells. Probably not amazing. If you really needed a flyer, maybe you could sideboard this in if you find that, like, you're, like, dying in the air a lot more. That's a possibility, but otherwise, again, just try to be more aggressive and maybe not play this guy. But it's here. We have it. It's a possibility. That is our 3 uncommons. So our next card is a Dragonologist. Again, not for us, and it is a rare, so not great for our particular strategy, unfortunately. Behind the Dragonologist, though, another rare or mythic, I think. Yeah. Wow. Shiko, Paragon of the Way. I mean, can we splash blue? I think we could. We have Evolving Wilds, and we have the Globe. I don't want to play the Globe, though. But 5 mana, 4/5 flying Vigilance. Exile a non-land card with mana value 3 or less from our graveyard. Copy it, and we can cast the copy without paying its mana cost. Like, that's pretty great. I don't know if it's worth splashing blue in an aggro strategy, though. Like, you're just, like, trying to do things that aren't super helpful, but, like, it's a mythic, so maybe. As always, let me know in the comments. But, I mean, hey, we've got a mythic. That's great. I love it. Behind Shiko, our foil is a foil uncommon in Overwhelming Surge, which, firstly, incredible foiling pattern. Absolutely incredible. And second, 3 damage to a creature or destroy a non-creature artifact is... excuse me. That's great. I would put that in for sure. An extra 3 damage at instant speed, quite nice, especially if, like, you got something big enough and they double blocked. You could, like, kill something, one thing, and then blow them out by killing the other thing in combat. Very nice. I would absolutely play this. Our land is a full art mountain, our first full art, and as you have maybe seen, I mentioned earlier that much more likely to open dual lands than basics. This is only the second basic we've opened out of 3 kits so far, or 2.5. So that's great, and I like the full art lands. I prefer the full art lands with the eyes, right? The dragon eyes, but the, like, shadow over the land is pretty cool. I like it. Behind the mountain is a copy token and a monk token. Okay, we are halfway through. We've got 3 packs left. We've done 3 packs so far in this kit. And so we have Unending Whisper. We're not playing blue, unfortunately, so No thank you. We have an Arishin Sun Shield. Again, tapping things down is not bad. This is, again, a little expensive for an aggro strategy, but pretty good, and we can exile some things from their graveyard that they could be using to, like, Hagger us or whatever. So, and then, again, tapping their one big threat that is stopping us from attacking, quite helpful. So I would put this in, I think. We have another Shock Brigade, absolutely gets in, no question. An Abzan Devotee is 2 of our colors in black and white, and then if we really want green, it would be helpful. But again, being aggressive with this thing and then getting it back from our graveyard later, not bad at all. I would play this one. Trade Route Envoy, not for us, not for this deck. A Boulder-Born Dragon, the first one of these that we've seen. 5 mana, 3/3 flying vigilance. Whenever it attacks, surveil 1. For this strategy, I don't know. I'm not in love with it. Like, if we need dragons for something, like if we had like a Dragonstorm Globe type strategy, not a terrible thing, but I don't know. I'm not in love with this for this kit. We have a Rebellious Strike, absolutely very helpful in this one. I think I've kind of gotten to that point. So yeah, +3/+0 until end of turn, draw a card. Why not? Why not? Helps you draw, helps your draws as well. So not bad at all. Fleeting Effigy. Now this is a helpful card, and our first uncommon. 2/2 haste for 1, but at the beginning of your end step, return it to your hand. And if it's late game and you're dropping this thing in, you can pay an extra 3 or multiple times, can pay 3 to give it +2/+0 until end of turn each time. Not bad at all. I like this one a lot. I imagine this is good. Like, this will be helpful if it's in your opening hand. You just, like, throw it out there, hit them for 2, bring it back. You can do it again later. It actually helps with Flurry, because it's literally 1 mana. So, like, any incidental Flurry that we have in our Mardu deck, this will help with that, which is nice. And we have Marshal of the Lost, which again, 2 of our colors, absolutely gets in. Whenever you attack, any attack that you make, one of your creatures gets +X/+X, where X is the number of attacking creatures. And again, whenever you attack, you're mobilizing in this strategy, so absolutely, this is an incredible card for us. Very, very nice. And our third uncommon is a River Wheel Sweep. It is 2 of our 3 colors. We could play this for 4. Again, one big scary dragon or something that's stopping you from attacking. This could get it out of the way. Plus, it gives you 2 more cards, or 1 more card, I should say, to choose from for future turns. Not bad at all. I would almost certainly play this. Our next card after our 3 uncommons is a rare in Awaken the Honored Dead. 2 of the 3 colors, or 2 of the colors that we're not playing. So probably not, but a good card, obviously, but not for us, unfortunately. Behind it, another rare or a foil? Jesus, okay. Another rare in, or I should say a mythic again, in Taval, Arbiter of Virtue. That is really cool. We have 3 of the mythic dragons now, today alone. That's awesome. So yeah, again, 2 of the colors that we don't want to be seeing in this particular deck, but another mythic dragon. Really, really nice. Behind Taval, our foil is a foil common in Wingspan Stride, which is not a bad card, but again, not really what we're trying to do with this Mardu deck, huh? But anyway, behind the Stride, our land is a Thornwood Falls. Literally the 2 colors we don't want. Unfortunate, but fine. Behind Thornwood Falls is a Warrior/Goblin. 2 more packs to go in kit 3 of 5. Not bad, not bad at all. We have a Tempest Hawk, first Tempest Hawk of this kit, don't forget. We got 1 earlier, but it was a different kit. So, first Tempest Hawk for us. Underfoot Underdogs absolutely gets in. It's a 3 mana 1/2. When it enters, we make another token. Tokens are important. And then a creature we control with power 2 or less can't be blocked this turn. Again, very helpful for some of our mobilized guys. Very nice. Caustic Exhale in our colors. Absolutely will take it. Behold a dragon or pay 1. Either way, it's either a 2 mana -3/3 or a 1 mana and show off a dragon -3/3. Really, really good. Crotic Nest Guard. Not what we're doing, unfortunately. But that's fine. This isn't like an amazing card that we're like super upset we can't play. We have a Teamer Devotee, not for us. An Arishin Sun Shield again. I would probably play a second one. I don't know about a third, but I would probably play a second. A Teamer Tawny back. Again, it's green and blue. I'm not playing this for 5. We have a Nomad Outpost in our colors. Absolutely incredible. A second Tri-land for us. Super, super helpful. Yes, please. Gets in, no question. That's our first uncommon. Synchronized Charge is the second. Again, not for us, but a pretty damn good card. And War Effort is the third. Now, this is the deck that you want War Effort in. We opened it in the Jeskai kit too, but this is the deck that you want it in. It makes another warrior in and of itself, and it gives all of your creatures +1/+0. Absolutely gets in. No question. Good stuff. That's our 3 uncommons, right? Yes. Oh, no, it's not. Sorry, one more. And, oh, no, we had the Outpost, excuse me. So, our next card is... Ooh, it's an alt art uncommon in Keru Goldkeeper. Again, not one that we get to play, but it's very pretty. Very, very pretty. And so our rare mythic is a Voice of Victory. It is a Mardu card. It has Mobilize, and our opponents can't cast spells during our turn. Absolutely incredible. No question it gets in. It's a 2-mana 1/3. It's got Mobilize too. Like, just, yes. All the way, yes. Great, great, great stuff. Very happy with this one. Behind it, our foil, yes, is a Riling Dawnbreaker, which, again, not necessarily specifically Mardu strategy, although it makes a token. It gets in. No question it gets in. Good, good stuff. Love that. And not a bad foiling pattern either. Our land is a Swiftwater Cliffs, which, I mean, I guess if we're trying to put in Shiko, Paragon of the Way, this could get in. Sure. And a Soldier/Soldier. One more pack to go. Obviously, you can let me know in the comments, like, hey, in the Mardu kit, I wouldn't splash for the Mythic Dragon, or I would splash for the Mythic Dragon. And I say the Mythic Dragon, because Shiko, not Taval. Taval is 2 colors that we would have to splash, and that would be a little rough. We have another Seize Opportunity. I would absolutely play a second one of these. Sand Skitter Outrider. Sure. It's a 2/1 with Menace. It does cost 4, but it endures 2, so you can make a 2/2 Spirit. Not bad at all. I would play it. Undergrowth Leopard, not for us. A Dirgur Island Dragon, also not for us. Another Riling Dawnbreaker. If this is a third one, maybe I wouldn't play a third. I don't know. I would at least consider not playing a third one of these. Maybe. I'd have to see what my curve looks like. We have a Storm Shriek Feral. This one I would play. Yes, again, discarding a random land that we don't need to draw 2 cards. Even in the late game, super helpful. And then 5-mana Flying Haster. Yes, please. A Watcher of the Wayside, first one of these that we've seen as well. I'm not in love with this one, especially for this strategy, but really kind of in general. But it's a 3-mana 3/2. When it enters, target player mills 2, so it could be yourself, and you gain 2 life. A Krumar Initiate is our first uncommon. We could pay X life and have it endure X, so we can make a big spirit or put a bunch of counters on this thing. Not bad at all. And that's like I said, our first uncommon. I would absolutely play this card. Furious Forebear, yes. Whenever any creature we control dies while this is in our graveyard, we could pay 2 to get it back to our hand. Yes, it's a 3/1, like, very, very good. We want to be aggressive, and like, we don't care if this goes to the graveyard because more of our creatures are going to die. In fact, our mobilized creatures die every turn. So yeah, this is a very good one. We just get this back over and over and over again. And a Sultai Monument. Not for this deck, but that means that our next card is another uncommon in Attuned Hunter. Not super helpful for this deck, but still. But that means our last, unless we get lucky with foils, our last rare or mythic out of the Mardu kit is a Karsi Revenant. 3-mana 3/3 Flying Death Touch Lifelink. And if it dies and ends up in the graveyard, we can renew it for 3 mana, exile it from our graveyard, put a flying counter, a death touch counter, and a lifelink counter on one of our creatures only as a sorcery. No question, this card also gets in. Absolutely insane. Love that. Okay, behind Karsi Revenant is a foil rare Scavenger Regent. Black Dragon Rare. Yes, please. Each non-dragon creature gets -X/-X until end of turn, or it's a 4-mana 4/4 Flying Ward, discard a card. Incredible. I would absolutely take that as well, happily. And it gets in. Behind it, our land is a Tranquil Cove. It is another method if we wanted to try to play Shiko. I don't know. I feel like, obviously I would have to count it up, but I feel like Shiko might be a trap. I don't think we need it. I think we really have a strong Mardu deck here. But But again, let me know in the comments, as always. And then behind the Tranquil Cove is a, it's like a stamped art card. You can see the Planeswalker symbol in the bottom left there for Humbling Elder. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Okay, well, hey, that is 3 of 5 kits. I mean, honestly, really, really cool. 2 Mythic Dragons in that one. 2 of them. These openings have been great so far. I can't lie. Like, really, really great. We're going to keep going. We've got Sultai next. So here is what the Sultai pre-release kit looks like. God, I love me some purple. That's a good color. Really nice looking. And so for folks who are unfamiliar with Sultai, black, green, blue. And there we go. Let's see if it cooperates. Nothing goes to waste. Seems very Golgari, which is 2 of its 3 colors, so that's good. Sultai. Adept at transforming challenge into opportunity, they cultivate sprawling land into farms and cities. Not even death can stop the Sultai, as their powerful necromancers raise the honored dead to continue leading and serving. Here's what the punch-outs look like. Really cool. These tokens or counters are purple and dark blue. Really nice. Take the inner box out. Very nice. Here is the art on here, if we can try to show that off for you a little bit better, right? Not bad, not bad. Try to do that here too. Okay. You can kind of see that there, right? Yeah? Yeah, it's not perfect. It's not perfect, but that's okay. We're going to leave Sultai on the side here. Sultai, not necessarily to play, but probably in general, just like my favorite 3-color combo in Magic. But gorgeous. I love this art too. Really, really nice. And speaking of Sultai, here is the Sultai D20, what it looks like. Very nice. Okay, that's a 4th die, and we're on our 4th kit. What a surprise. We have the packs themselves off on the side, and the insert, or the divider, looks like this. Okay, very good. Next, we move on to the seeded pack, which, let's open it up. Because, again, it didn't work out last time, but our promo foil rare is in our colors. Because it is a Dragonologist, which is a blue card, and Sultai is blue, black, green, like I said. So, not bad at all. The foiling pattern is... Oh, okay, it's much cooler than I thought. Good, good, good. All right, so Dragonologist, not bad, not bad. And that's our rare. Our actual seeded rare is a Laseed Prowler. Yeah, that's right, I said it. Not bad at all. Mill cards equal to the number of lands we control. It's got Renew if it's in our graveyard. Like, this does some cool stuff. Sultai wants graveyard shenanigans to occur, so there we go. We have an Opulent Palace, of course. Very helpful, very nice. We have a Kishless Skimmer, actually in the kit that we want to have it in. Not bad at all. We have a Keru Goldkeeper, actually in the kit that we want to have it in. Not bad at all. And a Sage of the Fang. I like it. I like it. We have a Gurmag Nightwatch. I'm not in love with this card. It's not bad. Look at the top 3. Put one back on top and the rest into our graveyard. So if we have cards with like renew abilities or whatever, and we don't care as much about putting them in the graveyard, or like excess lands or whatever. And again, playing this for 3 as a 3-mana 3/3, not bad at all if we're able to hit all 3 of our colors. We have a Sultai Devotee, speaking of hitting all 3 of our colors, that's awesome. We have a Champion of Dusan. We saw one of these earlier. I said I would play it then. This has Renew, so again, happy to be in the graveyard. I would absolutely play this as well. We have a Delta Bloodflies. When it attacks, if we control a creature with a counter on it, each opponent loses 1 life. So again, this is one that is happy with Abzan cards, but with green and black being part of Abzan, we're likely to have some Abzan cards in here as well. Plus, Renew tends to put +1/+1 counters on things, so really, really nice. Delta Bloodflies. We have a Sagu Wildling. Again, I will absolutely play this one. It would help us get a 3rd color early in the game. It's only 1 green, so if we had the green and we were missing the blue, for example, we could use this to go get that blue, shuffle this back in, and then late game, if we get it, 5-mana 3/3 flyer that gains us 3 life is also great. Dispelling Exhale, love it. Yes, absolutely gets in, no question. Cruel Truth's going to be super helpful. It does let us surveil, so again, fueling our graveyard synergies if we want them, and also just you know, drawing cards is always nice. And a Dragon's Prey, solid removal, only piece of removal so far, I think, which, you know, hopefully we'll see more of those in the packs, because removal is important. And then our land is a Dismal Backwater, blue and black. Very, very nice. We'll move on to our first non-seeded pack for Sultai. And we'll see what we get. We start with a Shock Brigade, not super helpful. We don't want to see red or white here. And of course, we start with a red card. But we follow it up with a Feral Deathgorger. Yes, please. Very helpful in this deck. I will absolutely play it. Trade Route Envoy. We saw a bunch of these in the last kit, which would not have been helpful, but now it is. Draw a card if we control a creature with a counter on it. Again, we will probably have counters. If we don't draw a card this way, we put a counter on this instead. Great. Love it. Focus the Mind? Sure, why not? Again, helpful that it costs less, not for flurry purposes, although there might be some incidental flurry cards in blue. But yeah, I would, again, absolutely play one. Mardu Devotee, we're not looking at white cards, although, and this is only one of our three colors that it would be able to filter into, so no. Meticulous Artisan, not for us. A Lightfoot Technique, not for us. That's a few in a row, that's unfortunate. Boulder-Born Dragon, again, I'm not in love with this card. Like, if we really need dragons, this could get in, so we'll be aware that we have it, but still. We have a Disruptive Stormbrood, absolutely gets in two of our colors. Fantastic, yes please. And that's our first uncommon. A Dragonstorm Forecaster. Now this would let us get Dragonstorm Globe or Boulder-Born Dragon. I mean, I wouldn't rather play either of those, so I probably also wouldn't want to play this, even though it's in our colors. But still, that's our second uncommon. And a Jeskai Monument is the third. It's in the two colors that we don't want, so no thank you. Behind it, our next card is a Zergo, Thunder's Decree. Again, two colors that we don't want, unfortunately, because Zergo is a very good card. I'll keep track of the fact that we got it in case, like, we start opening insane Mardu stuff, because it is very synergistic for Mardu. We talked about this already. Behind Zergo, we have our foil is an Embermouth Sentinel. Again, not in love with this one unless we really need to fix. And I don't think we're there yet, but, you know, we'll see. We have more packs to open. And a Blossoming Sands. If we need to splash white, sure, but otherwise, no thank you. And an Elephant/Treasure. Okay, next pack. Pack 3 of 6. We have a Meticulous Artisan, again, not for us. Unfortunate. An Abzan Devotee. That is two of our three colors, and we can play it with black, so I would absolutely put this in. Very nice. Whoops. We have a Piercing Exhale, finally, in a kit that we can use it in. Yes, please. God, finally. The Snowmelt Stag. I'm not in love with this card. I won't lie. Like, tell me in the comments. Maybe I just don't understand, but I'm not in love with Snowmelt Stag. Like, if we need a 23rd card, it isn't terrible, I suppose. I would put it in, but I'm not in love with this one. We have a Riling Dawnbreaker, not for us, but a good card. Seize Opportunity, same thing. Dragonstorm Globe. Okay, so we do have the Dragonstorm Globe and the Boulder-Born Dragon. So be aware that we have those, I guess. And again, for fixing purposes, not bad. And we've got the uncommon that can go and search for either of them. We have a Jade Cast Sentinel. Again, not in love with this thing. It's a fine sideboard card against graveyard synergies, but we'll see. A Luxodon War Priest is our first uncommon, not for this deck. We have a Stalwart Successor. Yes, please. Whenever one or more of our counters are put on a creature we control, if it's the first time counters have been put on that creature this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on that creature. Yes. Again, the renew ability often puts counters, so that is really nice. Obviously, this wants to be Abzan as well, but that's why it is those two colors, because it would synergize well with either of the clans that have these two colors as a combo. So really, really good. Then we have Roiling Dragonstorm. Yes, yes, please. Draw 2, discard 1, and then if we play a dragon, it bounces back. Absolutely gets in. Really, really good. And so after our 3 uncommons, our next card is a rare in Stillness in Motion. I don't love this one for limited. You can, again, correct me if I'm missing something, but I don't think I am. I would probably not play this. It does want us milling things, and if we really need to fuel our graveyard that badly, that's okay. But it does say, then if your library has no cards in it, exile this enchantment, put 5 cards from your graveyard on top of your library in any order. Again, I'm not in love with that idea, but if you're like, look, Joe, that's the perfect thing for Sultai because you're milling 3 cards a turn, like I said, let me know in the comments down below. But I'm not in love with this one, I won't lie. Our foil is a Jeskai Devotee, not what we're trying to do, so unfortunately not helpful for us. Our land is a Windscarred Crag, literally the 2 colors we are not in, so not helpful at all. And a Spirit/Spirit. We are halfway through. We are now on pack 4 of 6 for the Sultai kit. We have Teamer left after this, y'all. Just Teamer. Unending Whisper, yes, gets in, no question. Harmonize, again, super helpful. You can cast it from your graveyard. Well, we're going to be milling. We're going to be discarding. We're going to be doing whatever. Surveying. So, yeah, this is super helpful. Love it. Gets in. Osseous Exhale, unfortunately, does not get in. Shock Brigade, also no thank you. Feral Deathgorger, not bad. I'll take it. A second one, right? We had one earlier. Trade Route Envoy again. Sure, why not? Evolving Wilds would help us splash. Hopefully we won't need it, but good to know that we have it. Unburied Earth Carver. Sack another creature. Put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Again, sacking creatures, putting them in the graveyard if they have other like renew abilities or something. Really, really helpful. So yes, this gets in. Dalkovan Pack Beasts. It's got Mobilize. Again, creatures we control dying. Mobilize will help with that. And or if we need like things to sacrifice, Mobilize helps with that too. Like, I don't know that I would, this could be a 23rd or something, but still not a bad card. And that's our first uncommon. Rain Veil Rejuvenator. We may mill 3 and then we could tap to add a bunch of green. Not bad at all. I think this is a way to ramp. We haven't really seen a ton of ramp targets. Obviously we have like a couple of 6-drop dragons, right? But still, but this is in our colors, so I would probably play it. It's a 4-mana 2/4. Why not? And we have a Yathan Tomb Guard. Again, very nice. In our colors, I love it. 3-mana 2/3 Menace. Whenever a creature we control with a counter on it deals combat damage to a player, we draw a card and lose a life. Not bad at all. I'll take it. Very helpful. Behind it, our next card is a Frontier Bivouac. It is 2 of our 3 colors, right? In blue and green. I would absolutely play it. Even if we're not splashing red, it's then just a dual land. And I'm happy with the dual land. Super helpful for our colors. Very nice. And again, it was another uncommon, which means our rare or mythic is... okay, unfortunately. A Barren Step Siege. We are neither Abzan nor Mardu. We are Sultai. So... okay, I mean, it's cool to have the card, but not for this kit. Behind it, our foil, yes, is an Alchemist's Assistant. Okay, I mean, we got one of these earlier when we couldn't play it. Now we have one when it's in our colors. It's got Renew, it's got Lifelink, it's a 2-drop, it's an uncommon, it's foil. Yes, all of the above, it gets in. Thank you. Behind the Assistant, a Bloodfell Caves, which... again, if we're not splashing red, it's not super helpful, but Bloodfell Caves really likes this today, huh? God damn. Okay, and it's foil, so sure. Followed by a Soldier and a Soldier. Okay, well, yeah, sure. Next, we have 2 packs to go in our second to last kit. We have a Bearer of Glory, not for this kit, unfortunately. A Cruel Truths, yes please. Sagu Wildling again? Yeah, why not? A Teamer Devotee? I mean, it's 2 of our colors. Sure, I would do it. Again, really wants us to play red somehow, but we have another Tempest Hawk, right? I think this is the second one, but again, kind of doesn't matter. Maybe it's not even the second one, but regardless, not helpful here. Stormshriek Feral, also not helpful. Gurmag Nightwatch, the second one of these, I would take it. Again, I'm not in love with it, but again, putting things into our graveyard, kind of fixing our draws a little bit. Not bad, not bad. We have a Jeskai Brushmaster as our first uncommon, not in our colors, unfortunately. Rite of Renewal, again, opened to this one earlier when we couldn't play it. Now we can return up to 2 permanents from our graveyard to our hand, and then we presumably shuffle 4 cards from our graveyard into our library, and then we exile this card. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. All right, so that is, that's great. That gets in. And a Corroding Dragonstorm again. No, that was from the Mardu pack, but I'll take it. I'll put this one in as well. We have a few dragons, right? So this gets in, absolutely. Our next card after our 3 uncommons is... Ooh, a Disruptive Stormbrood Alt Art, but that also means that we can play it. It's green and black. We can play both sides of it or both pieces of it. So yes, please, I will take it happily, and it gets in, which means our next rare or mythic is a Voice of Victory. Not for this deck. The last time we opened it, it was good for us. Here, not as much, but not bad. Our foil, yes, is a Dragon Sniper. We can, again, opened it earlier when we couldn't play it. Now we can. This is our second foil of this, too. What the hell? We haven't opened any regularly, and we just get 2 of these in foil? Okay, sure. Whatever. It's a Dragon Sniper. I will take it. Not bad at all. And again, I would play it. It gets in the deck. Another Dismal Backwater as well. So, I mean, not a lot of love for green fixing, but I'll play it. It helps. And then behind it, a Spirit/Spirit. Last pack for our second to last kit. And then one more kit to go in Teamer, which I'm very excited for. We've gotten no Mythic in this kit yet? Come on, baby. It'll still be average 1 per kit because we got 2 in the last one, but still, come on. We have a Sand Skidder Outrider. I mean, yeah, I would absolutely play this one. Why not? An Undergrowth Leopard. Now, notably, could be a sideboard card, but it's also a 2-mana 2/2 Vigilance. Why not? With upside. So yeah, I would probably put this in the main deck, but if not, it's a very good card to be aware that we have in the sideboard if and when we come across annoying artifacts or enchantments. Another dragon in blue. Very nice. I will take it happily. Good card. Stormplane Detainment. Unfortunate that we got this here because it's a good card, but not for this deck. Rescue Leopard. Also not for us. And Aggressive Negotiations again. Totally fine. I would play the first one of these. No question. A Sibsig Appraiser again. Yeah, definitely. Why not? A Nomad Outpost as our first uncommon. It is not super helpful if we end up wanting to splash white or red, then technically this could work, but otherwise it's not getting in. But still, Triland is cool. A Sage of the Fang, yes, gets in. When it enters, it literally is a Sultai card. It's got Renew, all that good stuff. I got one earlier in our seeded pack, so yeah, gets in. And it's our second uncommon. And War Effort is the third. Again, we're not splashing red, so unfortunately no. We do have Zergo, but we're probably not doing it. We have some pretty decent Sultai stuff, so we'd probably just do Sultai. So our next card after our 3 uncommons is a Dalkovin Pack Beasts. Again, not for us, and that's totally fine. This is kind of whatever. Our rare or mythic, though, is... Yeah, there's our mythic. There it is. Baitor, Kin to All. Can we splash white? I don't know. Should we? I also don't know. We do have Blossoming Sands and an Evolving Wilds and a Nomad Outpost. So we have 3 white sources for this guy. At the beginning of our end step, if no creatures you control have total toughness 10 or greater, draw a card. Then if creatures you control have total toughness 20 or greater, untap each creature you control. Then if creatures you control have total toughness 40 or greater, each opponent loses half their life rounded up. But it's a 5/7 flyer for 5. Like, I mean, I'm probably playing this card, man. Like, why wouldn't I? And then we could play the Barren Step Siege as well if we're splashing white. Not bad, not bad. It's the last pack. I would do it. What's our foil? A Nightblade Brigade. Yes, please. Death Touch. It's got Mobilize, which again is a Mardu ability, but I would still play it. This is a good card. Okay. And it lets us Surveil, which is good for Sultai. Behind it, our land is a Rugged Highlands. Not super helpful here for us. And an Elephant/Treasure. Okay. I mean, hey. You know what? First of all, we finished it off with a Mythic, which is great. I'm super pleased with that because I was a little worried we weren't going to get 1 in this kit, which would be sad. Although, like I said, we did get 2 in the last one, so I can't complain too hard, but still. And we have 1 kit, 1 clan remaining in Teamer. We have spent so much time together. Thank you for spending time with us, or with me. We have the Teamer kit. It is the 5th and final. It is green, blue, red, if you are unfamiliar. And it says, Hear the Land's Wisdom. Hear the land's wisdom. Okay. Temur. A semi-nomadic people who thrive in the northern mountain terrain, living in concert with their environment. They are expert hunters, gatherers, and herders, working alongside their formidable animal companions. This is what the punch-outs look like. We got, again, green and blue for the colors here of the counters or tokens or whatever we're calling them. They're counters. Here is what the box looks like. I forgot to show you the art on the inside. My bad. Very snowy looking. So that's cool. Right? Look at that. And then look at this one as well. See that? It's actually pretty cool. I like it. Okay. Well, like I said, 5th and final box, which means 5th and final D20 as well. Here is the Temur Clans D20. Super grateful I got all 5 of these. That's really cool. I'm glad. I was saying to Amy before I left earlier today to come here for this event, I was hoping that Wizards would do the right thing and have like good stuff. Here are the packs, by the way. But that they would do the right thing and have good, unique dice, and they did. They did do the right thing. So I'm very grateful for that. Here is the insert for the Temur Clan kit as well. And our final promo foil rare is in here somewhere. Here we go. It is an on-color promo foil rare, which means out of 5 kits, only one of them wasn't on color, which is crazy to me. But it is a Magmatic Hellkite, which is actually a very good card. I like it a lot. You would think, in Limited, typically you're kind of trained to think like, oh, well, non-basics, that's not going to be in Limited. But don't forget, each kit gets a tri-land. Each kit gets at least one on-color dual land. And then all those other packs are probably going to have dual lands in them as well. So, like, there are going to be a fair number of dual and tri-lands going around or on the table, and you may be able to take your opponent off of one of their colors that way, at least for a turn or two because of the stun counter, right? So not bad at all. I would absolutely play this card. It's very good. Magmatic Hellkite. Our rare or mythic for our seeded pack is... Ooh, what a good card, man. Eshki Dragonclaw is very good. I like this card a lot. We had good success with this during our streamer event. This absolutely, I mean, it gets in. It's perfect. Perfect. Frontier Bivouac, yes please. Fixing for our 3 colors, our tri-land in Temur. Perfect, absolutely perfect. We have a Whirlwing Storm Brood, 2 of our colors in the Omen and the creature itself. Again, gets in, it puts counters on things. We can cast sorcery spells and dragon spells as though they had flash. Not bad at all. There are, again, with Temur, you're going to want to do, or you're going to have a lot of like harmonized cards. And if the harmonized card is a sorcery, casting it at like the end of your opponent's turn by tapping a creature that you didn't end up using to block or whatever, to make it a bunch cheaper is like super helpful. So this is a good card to have. Mammoth Bellow, speaking of harmonize, very, very good, is Mammoth Bellow. And again, like, you can use the Mammoth that you make on the first turn, the turn after, to cast this for 3 mana a second time by tapping the 5/5. Not bad at all. I like this card a lot. Ureni's Rebuff, yes please. It bounces a thing, it harmonizes later to bounce a thing. Not bad at all. And it's, again, there's that sorcery we were talking about. So this, you would be able to do at instant speed, like at the end of your opponent's turn, just like bounce one of their things if you had the dragon out. We have a Temur Tawny back. Again, we debated playing this earlier, or said we would play it earlier in a different kit. This one, it's 3 mana for a 4/3, draw then discard. Like, absolutely incredible card, no question, gets in. Temur Devotee, again, the Devotee is super important, very helpful. Unending Whisper, yes please, it's got Harmonize, so you can draw a card for 1 mana sorcery speed, and then 6 mana, or obviously cheaper later, with the Harmonize ability. We could draw a card again, which is, like, late game, very helpful. I mean, drawing cards is good. But, I mean, like, if you don't have 6 mana or near enough with a creature and mana, late game drawing a card is always going to be helpful. Always. We have a Summit Intimidator. This one, again, probably feels more important for, like, a Mardu deck, but Teamer has red in it. I would put this in. I would put at least one of these in. A Reacher against some dragons is always helpful as well. A Rescue Leopard. First time we've seen this profitably, I think. 3 mana, 4/2. When it becomes tapped, we could discard a card if we do draw a card. And again, this is 4 power, so it could become tapped to harmonize something, right? So that's really, really nice, because then you could just discard to draw, like discard an extra land that you might have, draw a card, and get the benefit of the harmonize cost being reduced by 4. Really, really good, this card, in this strategy. Saga Wildling, I mean, again, every time we've seen it, it's good. If we are, if we're like splashing green because we're in 3 colors for Teamer, but green is like the least prevalent, then maybe this one doesn't get in, but like otherwise, no question it gets in. It can fix our mana early game or is just a good, solid creature late game. Good stuff. We have a Molten Exhale, again, great card. I would play all the Exhales in our colors that we get. A Heritage Reclamation, I did say, and I still believe, that this is sideboard at best in a best of 3 format. And our land is Thornwood Falls, blue and green. Obviously, again, it's our seeded pack. It's in our colors, no question, and it gets in, no question. Now, on to the non-seeded packs, the randomized packs. For our last kit, let's see what we get. We start with a Worthy Cost. Unfortunately, black and white not going to be helpful here, which sucks because this is a very good card. Sagu Pummeler, on the other hand, very good card. It does have Renew, but again, Renew or Harmonize, all abilities that work out of the graveyard. This is a great, great card. So yes, it gets in, no question, in my opinion. Unending Whisper again. Yeah, why not? Draw more cards. Again, like, this is 1 mana, right? Sorcery speed. So, like, if you have an extra land left over at the end of your turn, absolutely use it, draw a card. And then the Harmonize for 6, like, that can absolutely be late game. That could just sit in your graveyard until you're like, okay, what am I going to do? I just drew an extra land. It's late game. What am I going to do? Okay, let me look through my graveyard. Oh, I have 2 Harmonize Unending Whispers. Let me just draw an extra card. Like, very, very nice. Ashes Exhale, not for us, but a good card, of course. Shock Brigade, we could use it. Again, obviously wants to be more in Mardu, but it's a 1/3. I mean, sure, why not? I would probably put it in. Feral Deathgorger, not for us. Still a good card. We've opened a lot of these, huh? A Heritage Reclamation again. I would board in 2, especially if they had more than 1 annoying artifact or enchantment, or we're doing graveyard synergy stuff. But again, still would be a sideboard regardless. A Traveling Botanist is our first uncommon, and the first time I believe we've seen this card. Whenever it becomes tapped, so again, if it makes your Harmonizes cheaper, we look at the top card of our library. If it's a land, we can reveal it, put it into our hand, and if we don't put it into our hand, we can put it into our graveyard. So again, if it has Harmonize, if it has Renew, whatever, still could put it in the graveyard. Super helpful. Nice, nice, nice. That's our first uncommon, Ureni's Rebuff. More Harmonize, absolutely gets in. And a Teeming Dragonstorm, not for us, but still a cool card. That is our 3 uncommons, which means our next card is... Ooh, a Storm Shriek Feral Alt Art, but it's mono red, right? It's a red omen, it's a red creature. Absolutely, it gets in. Discard a card if we do draw 2 cards on the omen side, and then it's a 3/3 flying haster for 5 with fire breathing. Yes, gets in, no question. But that means that our rare or mythic is... an Anafenza Unyielding Lineage. Super happy that I got one of these, but not in this kit. Not ideal for that purpose, but still, cool card nonetheless. Do we have another rare mythic or a foil? We have a foil in Sand Skidder Outrider. Whoops. Unfortunately, not going to help us out here. So that one is also a no, because it is black. Then we have a foil Rugged Highlands. This is... the other dual land that is in 2 of our 3 colors, besides Thornwood Falls, which we got earlier in our seeded pack. So that's great. Absolutely playing Rugged Highlands. Then we have a Warrior and a Goblin. So cool. Okay. Hey, not bad at all. That pack was... I liked it. I liked it. It was pretty good. Wow, another Unending Whisper. That is a 3rd Unending Whisper for us, huh? Why not? Another Ashes Exhale. Unfortunate. Shock Brigade, again, I said I would put 1 in. Maybe I'll put the second one. Feral Deathgorger, this is just looking very familiar now. Trade Route Envoy, sure, why not? If we have a creature with a counter on it, we get to draw a card, which is great. And even if we don't, it it gets a counter on it. So that's not bad at all. Monastery Messenger is 2 of our 3 colors. We can play this for 4 mana and put a non-creature, non-land from our graveyard on top of our library. I feel like we're probably going to have a fair bit of those, right? We've got some exhales and some spells and stuff. So sure, I'd put this in. 4 mana, 2/3 flying vigilance that gets us something back from the graveyard. Yeah, why not? Another Dragonstorm Globe. Did we have one in the Sultai kit? I think, have we had one in every kit then is really what I'm getting at. I don't know how I feel about this one yet. I imagine not super helpful, but I guess we'll see. We have a Dragon Sniper. Absolutely gets in, no question. Very good card. We have a Jeskai Monument. This time it is 2 of our 3 colors, but I'm still not going to play it. Again, we talked about that. We would need the white to be able to activate it, and even then it's like a fine ability. It's not anything that I'm like needing to go out of my way for, you know? And that's our second uncommon. And a Whale of War is the third. Again, a black card, not super helpful here. So our next rare or mythic is... Or actually, sorry, I lied. Our next card, we don't know, is... I was wrong. It is an uncommon, and it is Disruptive Storm Brood. We would not be able to cast the Omen, but a 5 mana, 3/3, destroy up to 1 target artifact or enchantment. Again, as just a green card, this screams sideboard. If it's both colors, it should get in my opinion. So like the Abzan deck or the Sultai deck, when we saw those earlier, we said we would play it. For this, I think I would keep it as a sideboard card, personally. Now, our rare or mythic is... Ooh, Sidisi, Regent of the Mire in the alt art. This is the first of this alt art style, whose name escapes me, that we've seen in this opening. If you go and watch our big opening, there are a lot of these that we opened. The over $2,200 of retail product that we opened for the store. So you should go check that out as well. But my God, man, this art is cool. Obviously, we're not able to use Sidisi today, so unfortunate. But that means our foil, yes, our foil is a Riling Dawnbreaker, which again, not for this deck, because we are Teamer. Okay, no problem. Behind it, our land is a Dismal Backwater. If we have to splash black, maybe, but otherwise, no. And our art card is Taval, Arbiter of Virtue, alt art Taval. Art card. Not bad at all. By the way, everybody, I mentioned it earlier, but it bears repeating. Hopefully you've been hearing all the amazing fun that everybody's been having here at Champion. Thank you again to them for having us here. If you did not know, the top link in the description down below will take you to Champion's website, and you can find out more about the store. You should come out and visit, especially during a pre-release, but honestly, whenever. It's really, really great. What a great place. We have a Stormplane Detainment, not for us, but a great card, as I've talked about before. A Rescue Leopard definitely gets in, good stuff. Again, when it becomes tapped, super helpful. Adorned Crocodile, first time we've seen this card, but not particularly helpful for this deck. An Anok Wayfarer. Yeah, sure, mill 3, put a land from among them into our hand. If we don't, put a counter on this thing. And it's a 2-mana 1/1 or 2/2, depending. But again, it can get stuff into our graveyard, like for Harmonize or Renew and stuff like that. Riverwalk Technique. Again, I would probably play one. A good counterspell is always helpful. And bouncing a thing like to the top of their library, or bottom of their library, I guess, is very helpful. A Reputable Merchant in one of our 3 colors. Not super helpful here, unfortunately. Sorry, Reputable Merchant. An Embermouth Sentinel, again, probably not playing it, but it's there. We have a Breaching Dragonstorm. So the red Dragonstorm enchantment in Teamer, which is great. Exile cards from the top of our library until we exile a non-land. We can cast it without paying its mana cost if its mana value is 8 or less. Otherwise, we put it into our hand, and then we can bounce it back to our hand with a dragon entering. Yes, gets in, no question. Great, great stuff. That's our first uncommon. Lie in Wait is the second. It is 2 of our 3 colors. If we're splashing black, I would play this. It's a good card, but I don't think we're going to splash black. But there's that. And a Dalkovan Pack Beasts. Again, not for us. And again, it's a fine card, but it's not worth splashing for. But that means that our next card is another uncommon in Rain Veil Rejuvenator. It does allow us to ramp a bit based on this creature's power, and we can mill 3 cards when it enters. I would put this in. Why not? And it means that our next rare or mythic is another Sidisi. That's 2 Sidisi in this kit alone. Look at that. Alt art and regular art, Sidisi. I mean, we're not playing black. Get the hell out of here. Behind it, our foil, yes, is a foil uncommon, shocking sharp shooter. Not bad at all. Nice foiling pattern. Whenever another creature we control enters, it deals 1 damage to target opponent. Yeah, obviously this is amazing in a Mardu deck. I don't know that I've seen this card yet. But yeah, every time you mobilize and a creature enters, this pings your opponent for 1. That is sick. It's cool in this deck. I would put it in. Why not? Our land is a Bloodfell Caves, because of course it is. Bloodfell Caves loves us. Why wouldn't we have Bloodfell Caves? We do have 2 Sidisi, but I still don't think it's going to be a thing. We have Dismal Backwater too. Interesting. Let me know in the comments, as always. Especially when by the time we get to the end. Maybe we'll have more crazy black cards. We have a soldier and a soldier. Whoops. 2 more packs to go in the whole video, everybody. Give yourselves a pat on the back. Shout yourself out in the comments if you've sat through this whole thing. I really appreciate people spending the time. I'm having a ton of fun. I hope you all are as well. We have a Trade Route Envoy. I would probably play 2. It is a 4-drop, so I would check our curve, but I'd play 2. We have a Focus the Mind. First one in this kit absolutely gets played. Absolutely. Mardu Devotee, not for us. Meticulous Artisan, also not for us. Abzan Devotee. Actually, sorry, I lied about the Meticulous Artisan. That's a maybe. It makes a treasure. It could be helpful. It's not bad. Again, it's another 4-drop, and the other 4-drops that we were talking about are better for this strategy, but still, I could put this in. This I would not put in. Lightfoot Technique, also not for us, unfortunately. Boulderborn Dragon, I'm not in love with. Our first uncommon, though, is Defibrillating Current. It is 2 of the colors that we're not. Now, the question is, though, would I pay 5 mana to deal 4 damage to something and gain 2 life? And by the way, I say 4 damage to a creature or a planeswalker. I might. We're a little light on a removal, I feel like. I would debate putting this in, for sure. 5 mana to deal 4 damage to something and gain 2 life at uncommon? Yeah, I would think about it. Again, let me know in the comments. Behind it, a Dragon Brood's Relic. No thank you. Tap an untapped creature we control to add 1 mana of any color. I just don't think we need it. And then we could pay Wooburg and 3 to make a 4/4 dragon that's a reliquary dragon. Like, no. Just all that. No thank you. And our third uncommon is a Glacial Dragon Hunt. First one of these we've seen. Absolutely gets into a teamer strategy. It's got Harmonize. It's a teamer card. Draw a card. You may discard a card. When you discard a non-land card, 3 damage to a creature. Absolutely incredible. For 2 mana, sorcery speed, phenomenal. Absolutely gets in. And so after our 3 uncommons, our next card is a Desperate Measures. I love this art. Not for this deck do I love this card, but still. And then our next rare mythic, because that was an uncommon, our next rare mythic is... Ooh, a Winter Night Stories. Yes, please. 3 mana sorcery with Harmonize of 5. Draw 3, discard 2, or discard a creature. Absolutely gets in, no question. Great, great card. Behind it, our foil is a foil uncommon in Spectral Denial. Cares about creatures we control with power 4 or greater. We will incidentally have those, I'm sure, at least at some point. And we counter a spell unless they pay X. The foiling pattern is insane, obviously. Love that. And it gets in, no question. Good, like, you know, incidental counterspell. I love it. We have a Windscarred Crag, which is, if we need to splash white, I guess. But we don't, but that's whatever. Windscarred Crag and a Spirit/a Spirit. You know, the last kit kept us waiting until the last pack for a Mythic. If this one is doing the same, awesome. But if not, we might not get a Mythic in this kit, y'all. Again, average 1 per then, but otherwise above average 1 per. Let's see. We have another Focus the Mind. I'll take it. Yes, please. We have a Mardu Devotee, not for this deck. A Meticulous Artisan. Again, I really hemmed and hawed about the first one. I don't know that I would play a second one. We have an Abzan Devotee again. This is looking familiar. Piercing Exhale gets in. Yes, it does. No question. Great card. Absolutely. We have a Summit Intimidator. Again, probably also gets in. Why not? We have a Dusiat Earthcarver. It cares about Enduring. It's 6 mana. I feel like we don't have a lot of high-costed stuff. There are some of the dragons, right? Some of the Omen dragons. So I would check our slots, but I would probably put this in. We have another Spectral Denial. Yeah, I would play a second one. Why not? A Mystic Monastery. This is 2 of our 3 colors. It gets in. No question. It's a dual land. instead of a tri-land. Not a problem at all. Again, not really splashing white. We might have wanted to splash black for 2 Sidisi, but don't worry about it. Mystic Monastery gets in, and that's our second uncommon. And then we have a Gurmag Rakshasa, which is not for our kit or deck or whatever. And so our next card is an uncommon again in Zergo's Vanguard. Again, obviously a Mardu card, but I mean, it cares about the number of creatures we control. We're probably going to have creatures. It mobilizes, so it itself makes it a 1/3. And then if we're mobilizing, if we attack with it, it's a 2/3. So in and of itself, a 2/3 for 3, not terrible. And so, yeah, I would absolutely put this in. Not bad at all. But that means that our next and possibly last rare or mythic of the video is a Corey Steel Cutter. We saw one of these earlier as our rare in our seeded pack. Was that in this kit? No, it was not. It was in the last kit, Mardu, I think. But Corey Steel Cutter absolutely gets in. Why not? Flurry gives good benefits. It's not bad at all. But even if without Flurry, +1/+1 trample and haste for 2 mana on something every turn. Not bad at all. Happily take that. And then behind it, our foil is a foil common. We did not get a mythic out of this kit, so it is average 1 per kit. Another Shock Brigade. Again, I'd probably put this in. Why not? Why not? Again, I would count. If I had to make cuts, maybe I would take this one out, but that's fine. But behind Shock Brigade, our foil, we have a regular Mountain. Again, has not happened yet that we've gotten a non-foil, non-full art basic, so that's the first one in the last pack. And a Reliquary Dragon/Dragon. Guess what, everybody? We opened very, very well today. We got not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 of the 5 Spirit Dragons at Mythic, and a 5th Mythic in Mox Jasper. So, really, really cool. I mean, like, I'm not going to complain about that at all. Really good stuff. So yeah, 4 dragons and a Jasper, huh? Or a Moxen, I suppose. Really, really cool. Thank you all so very much for joining me. I really hope everybody enjoyed this video. Like I said, as a reminder, it'll probably pop up here at the end if I remember to be able to do it for you. But we did one other video from here at Champion. This video was very long. That video is very, very short in comparison. So if you have a minute, go check out all the other awesome stuff that folks opened here at this event at Champion Card Collector in Poughkeepsie, New York. As I said, as a reminder, the top link in the description down below will take you to Champion's website. If you're anywhere near the Poughkeepsie, New York area, especially during pre-release time, you should come out. You should come say hi to me, to Amy, to the store owners. Whenever you come out to the store, though, even if it's not during pre-release, you should let them know that Geek for All sent you. We really appreciate you hanging out with me and here at the store. Like I said, hopefully you saw some of the cool stuff that was going on here in the other video, and or have been able to hear all the fun that has been going on here at the store. Thank you all so very much for spending the time. Don't forget to check out our other Tarkir Dragonstorm content on the channel. We did that 8-hour stream, as well as the big opening where we opened 12 boxes, 2 cases of Tarkir Dragonstorm product. That is also on the channel, available for you and probably popping up here at the end. So definitely go check that out. But for now, from us here at the Geek for All family of channels and from Champion Card Collector in Poughkeepsie, New York, I have been Joe. Thank you all so very much for joining me. And as we always say, in whichever video of ours you watch next, we will see you all next time. Thanks, everybody.